Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the Chicago Cubs. It is the off season as we were defeated. Let's just take a quick look at. I don't know if we can go back and look at it at this point. Yeah, we can. We were defeated by the Atlanta Braves in the National League Championship Series, 4-1. Braves went on to lose to the Cleveland Indians in the World Series. So we're moving on to season number 3 here. We got a little bit of work to do. We don't necessarily need to do anything major. We could see if something's out there, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be required for us to have a good season next year. I don't think we're pretty well set up. So let's take a look at some of the numbers first, and then we'll get right into the offseason. So you can see we've got $40 million for free agents, 31 for extensions, but that's before we deal with any of our salary or arbitration. Salvador Perez wants $13 million. I mean, I'm taking a risk if I offer him the qualifying offer because I certainly don't want to bring him back for $15 million. I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to let him walk. If we take a look at some of our players here, Lois Siga was probably our most consistent pitcher. Pitched really well in the postseason for us. He's looking for 3.8. He's looking for a long-term deal here. So he's looking for 7 years. That would take him to his age 33 season. Be happy at 5. I do something like this. You take that. Let's see. Nope. All right, so we will hold off here and we'll take a look a bit later down the road. Julio Urias wants 4.6. Yeah, he's only 25, so at 4.6 we should be able to get him at about 4.4. And again, I do this because you can get some bumps to fan interest because it's technically them signing contracts. So I like to do that to try to bump up that fan interest a little bit. I mean, you're only saving a couple bucks in the long run, but again, every penny you can save is a penny you can spend elsewhere. So bring Arano back. Seth Lugo, we definitely want to bring back. Will he take 3 even? He will. Perfect. Ian Happ wants 6.5. And I'm not scared of the dollar amount. I mean, it's the years. I don't want to pay him for 9 years. That. Take that. No. All right, so those guys we're going to hold off on. Frazier, I don't care if he gets 850. Heredia, I'm probably going to try to move him. We've got Estevan Florial ready to come up and play that backup outfielder role. Heredia has played really well for us in the year and a half that we've had him, hitting over 300 both years. 800 OPS 2 years ago, and then 882 this year, and he's really solid in all 3 positions. Teammates like him, good defender, but that's a lot of money for a backup outfielder. So let's take. Oh right, I can't because I was looking at some trades. So let's just go ahead a day here. Now let's try to move him. Let's see what kind of offers we can get, if anything. Always just looking to get younger, a little bit cheaper potentially. Well, those aren't younger and cheaper names. And this is one that I've been thinking about because he's been popping up a bunch. Red Sox are looking to offload his contract. You can see last year he came back after missing all of 2020, went 15-7, struck out 209. This is one that I'm really thinking about, but I'm not thinking about in terms of trading Heredia for him. they are willing to get rid of him for almost anything. So what I've been looking to do is how much money can I send back to them and still make this work. So they'll take Liam Hendriks, and now we're losing in sales contract $30 million for next year, and then player opt out after next season, followed by 27, 27, and 20. I'm really okay with that. If he's terrible next year, he won't opt out, but I don't suspect he'll be terrible. I don't see the numbers cratering. So it's a matter of figuring out the way to best make this work. I mean, I could potentially pick myself up a prospect, or I can just look for... Is there another contract that I'd like to get rid of? I mean, not Hayward, obviously, but of course now I can't trade him, period. Yeah, I mean, there's not really another contract here that I have to get rid of. So this is something I'm thinking about. I may wait until I may check this periodically leading up to free agency. And if it gets to a point where they start to ask for more, I might pull the trigger. Because it's a lot of money, but it's not that long of a contract. He's still got 4 solid pitches. His stuff in his control are still elite. Maybe we do this. Maybe we request a scouting report and see if we can get that up to very high and then make a decision. So let's go back to Aradia. See if there's anything here that we are interested in. Because otherwise I'm just likely to DFA him. Or non-tender him, rather. Ben Gamel. Yeah, it's just a bunch of people looking to get rid of contracts. Which is also what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so as good as he has been for us, I think the option here is to just non-tender and free up that money. We have... I better do this before I forget. Kyle Seager, team option. We are going to void that team option. Dellin Betances met his vesting criteria, so he's going to come back next year, which is fine. He's only making 2.8, and he was pretty good for us last year, so I'm okay with him coming back. Season goals. We didn't improve our stolen bases, but he was happy with where we ended up in the playoffs. We acquired Kyle Seager. We stuck him in left, but because he won a Gold Glove at third base that met that goal, we made the playoffs. He's happy with our performance. They wanted us to sign Dellin Betances. That happened. Upgraded catcher. I'm hoping Amaya will be that upgrade. New budget, $220 million contract, or $220 million payroll. Nippon Professional Baseball League posts some player, Ayumu Ishikawa, 33-year-old pitcher, $14.5 million posting fee, elite level control, but I don't want to pay $14 million for him. So I think we still have a couple players here. I think we're going to leave Frazier because he'll be good to bring off the bench against lefties, pinch hitter, play him occasionally against lefties, but we're going to need to upgrade there. Happ and Lois Siga, these are guys, you know what, let's just do this. Lois Siga, I think let's just hedge our bets and bring him back for 1 year. Let's just lock that down and be done with that. Happ. Yeah. Let's just hang tight on Happ for now. I mean, solid numbers. I mean, you can't, versatile, can play second base, can play the outfield, really good eye. He's going to strike out a ton, but I mean, if he hits 250 with 30 home runs and an 800 OPS, is that worth $11 million a year? I don't know. So let's just we'll put a pin in that one, as they say, and move forward here a little bit. So we'll sim forward through the awards. We'll take a look at the awards. All right, I did some scouting while I was waiting to start my video tonight. Marwin Gonzalez is in our international complex, and you can see elite power from a middle infield position, which is just fantastic. So another bat to keep a look at. See what they say about Sale. Yeah, I think the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. I mean, let's try scouting him one more time. See if we can get that up to very high. But both his stuff and his control improved. So let's and I made some offers to some minor leaguers, so some will take them, some won't, and that's fine. So Sale, 80. Yeah, I think this makes sense, guys. It's going to eat up a lot of our reserve, but I'm okay with that. Just got to spend the money somewhere, right? And if we take a look at the upcoming free agents, it doesn't really blow you away. A couple good relievers. Max Scherzer, 37 years old. His numbers aren't as good as Sale's. He's coming off of a pretty good season. I mean, we can request a scouting report, but with Scherzer, we'll probably have to give up a draft pick. And then beyond that, there's really nothing there. I mean, Corey Kluber, we tried to sign him last year, and he had a pretty off season. So there's not much there in terms of free agents. So I think we're going to pull the trigger on this one. So we're going to go ahead and trade Liam Hendriks to the Red Sox or Chris Sale. What else can we do here? There aren't really any other contracts that I want to give up. Seager's going to come off the books. Perez is going to come off the books. And then everybody else is relatively cheap. So if we come over here and look at the Sox prospects, I always liked Eduardo Lopez. He seems to always sim pretty well. Really good discipline, good contact. What would it... Can I get Lopez? Okay, so then it goes to and not accept overpaid veterans. So, but we can add in another player and make it work. Tim Miller? Yeah, he's angry with us anyway. Let's go ahead and give him Tim Miller. I don't think there's any way they'll retain anything, right? Yeah, as soon as you do that. Okay. So we are going to drop. We're going to take on an additional $20 million in the upcoming season, and we're going to bring on Chris Sale. That makes me nervous, but I will take it. You want that ace, you want that stud, and when healthy, Sale is as good as they come. So, he's going to move into our rotation. That's going to slide everybody down a spot. That's what our starting rotation, I think, is going to look like going into next year, although we may go... This may be an opportunity for us to try to potentially flip Urias or... I like Kyle Wright. I think it might be an opportunity for us to flip Urias. Let's just see what happens when we get to free agency, because we still have some money. We still have plenty of money. So I'm not really worried about that. All right, well, let's keep going. That could be our big move of the offseason, and we're a week into it here. See, again, Seth Lugo signed the contract, and we get a fan interest bump there. So it's always beneficial to sign those contracts and not let it go to arbitration. So Scherzer, yeah, I mean, his stuff is starting to drop. His control is good, so I'm perfectly content with picking up Sale there. Let's keep going. Yeah, and signed a bunch of minor league free agents. Loaiziga signed that contract. And I'm happy with that. I'm just a little concerned that his movement is light, and that's going to cause him to get hit around, and I don't want to be locked in long term if this number gets much lower than that. So when we get to free agency, what we're going to do is we'll just take a quick look at the team and sort out exactly what it is we need. But really, I think at this point we're looking at some bats. We're looking at left and right field, what we can do to improve our outfield on either side of Adam Hazley. Because at this point, if we have to eat Hayward's contract, I'm okay with that. If we have to just release Jason Hayward and eat that, then so be it. All right, so AL Gold Gloves, Penn Murphy, great name. Yasmani Grandal, Matt Olson, Hanser Alberto with the White Sox, Matt Chapman, Olson and Chapman. I mean, I don't know if there's a better first and third combination in the majors. If you can think of one, let me know. But Olson and Chapman is about as good as it gets. Lindor at short, Jake Cave in left, Byron Buxton and Aaron Judge in right. And in the National League, John Gray, JT Realmuto, Marwin Gonzalez, Colton Wong, Nolan Arenado, our own Javi Baez wins a Gold Glove. So, again, he only hit .224, but because he played Gold Glove defense and he had almost 40 home runs, he's still almost a 3-win player. So, again, a contract I think that was good for us and will continue to look good because even if the bat starts to slow down a little bit, he's going to be an elite shortstop for a while. So, Tommy Edman with St. Louis, Manuel Margot, Cincinnati, and Mr. Harper with the Phillies. AL relief winner is James Karinchak with the World Series champion Indians. Emmanuel Clace with the Indians finished second, and Craig Kimbrell of the Oakland Athletics finished third. So that was a trade that did not work out for us at all. Look at Kimbrell, 57 innings, 103 strikeouts last year for the A's. So that didn't work out for us, but that's okay. NL award winner Edwin Diaz, 38 saves. James Paxton finished second. Okay. And we had Seth Lugo down here in, 8th? So Lugo had a good year for us out of the pen. Silver Sluggers. Yasmani Grandal won both the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger Award, so good year. 41 home runs behind the backstop for the Southsiders. Matt Olson, again, Josh Van Meter with the Baltimore Orioles, coming out of nowhere. 33 home runs for the O's. Rafael Devers, Red Sox, Gleyber Torres, Joey Gallo, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and Joe Adele. So Angels had 3 Silver Sluggers in their lineup. National League Silver Sluggers, Tyler Anderson, Carson Kelly, Rhys Hoskins with the Phillies, Gavin Lux, our own Chris Bryant, slowed down significantly in the second half and had an abysmal playoff, but still won the Silver Slugger at third. Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto, Alec Thomas, and Cody Bellinger. AL Rookie of the Year, Jared Kelenic. He's just got crazy good numbers. He's going to be a superstar in this game. 22 home runs, 66 runs batted in, 270 batting average, 842 OPS. And over in the National League, Travis Swaggerty wins the NL Rookie of the Year. Really, no love for Adam Hazley. Travis Swaggerty, 295, had an 853 OPS, 5 wins. Okay. And he played well, so not going to argue with that. 22 steals, so pretty good player. But the fact that he wasn't even in the top 4 is a little disconcerting. Dylan Carson with the Cardinals, 30 home runs, Keibert Ruiz, and Neftali Soto. So we've got Manager of the Year, Cy Young, and MVP. Terry Francona, Tito, and in the National League, Mike Glenn of the Atlanta Braves. Jesus Luzardo won the AL Cy Young Award at only age 24, 19-7, the 2.98 ERA. So the A's continue to find these good ones. Diamonds in the rough, so to speak, and the A's are masters at this. So Lazaro's had 2 great years in a row. And in the National League, no surprise there, Mike Soroka. 15-10, 2.20 ERA was just a killer for the Braves. Wanted to see no Chris Sale. I wanted to see if Chris showed up on there. And the most valuable player awards in the American League, Gleyber Torres, 62 home runs, 134 RBIs for Gleyber Torres. Yeah, I'd say that is MVP worthy. And over in the National League, Cody Bellinger with his 51 home runs and 97 runs knocked in win his, I believe this is second in a row MVP award. Right here. All-Star, Gold Glove, Rookie of the Year. He's won it 3 years in a row. 2019, 2020, 2021. So, Cody Bellinger well on his way to a Hall of Fame career if he can keep this up. Gavin Lux finished second. Teammate Gavin Lux finished second. And Juan Soto finished third. So, Chris Bryant finished fourth. So, there's our contribution to the MVP race. Let's go up to salary arbitration. We only had two. We had Frazier and Happ, I believe. Great. Let's go ahead and finish today. Yep, Happ got 6.5 and Frazier got 850. So we'll have to see how Ian Happ does this year. I don't know how much more than 6.5 million I'd want to pay him unless he continues to improve. You know, if he can improve on the batting average and he can get himself up to 265, 270, all of a sudden this 800 OPS becomes 830, 840, and it becomes significantly more valuable at second base. So, as you can see, he's basically just been a league average hitter, regardless of what everything else says. So, we'll have to keep an eye there. Let's go to free agency. All right, so let's take a look at our international free agents first. See if there's any stars here that we want to take a look at. So far, nothing. Well, that's just a whole lot of garbage. Yeah, and names we talked about are the top free agents. All right, so let's take a look at our team. You can see I've already brought Florial up so that I wouldn't forget. I like to do this so that I know kind of what I'm dealing with here. I don't want him there. We need... Well, this is going to be interesting. I forgot about Nico Horner. He's been injured. So if Horner comes in and plays second, then that's going to move Happ to left. So really all we're looking at now, if an Amaya is going to be our catcher, then really we're just looking for a right fielder. Florial is going to back up all three outfield positions. Hayward will pinch hit against righties. Frazier will pinch hit against lefties. Short can play backup second and short. So really just, I would say maybe a backup corner infielder and a right fielder. Pitching wise, I like where we stand. Maybe we can bring in, if we can find a left-handed arm to go in here. I think that would be beneficial, but otherwise, I think we're pretty good. So let's take a look and see what we got. Right field, backup corner infielder, and maybe a left-handed reliever. All right, so let's look at, just go right to right field. So we have some options. Michael Conforto got some power. He's going to hit 20 home runs. The average is starting to drop, though. Average big league right fielder. He is a lefty, right? Yeah, he's a lefty. So, I mean, that could work. He could hit against righties, and we could have Frazier hit against lefties. I mean, he tears up righties. I would slot in nicely And in that 5-hole maybe. That 6-hole behind Baez. It's tempting. Tyler Austin. Cole Calhoun. Adam Eaton. Dexter Fowler. Avi. I think we're gonna let's take yeah, my only concern here is that we've got Brennan Davis, but Davis is a left fielder, really. Minguez is a center fielder. I mean, there's no way I'm signing him to a 10-year contract or whatever he wanted. All right, let's pause there for a second. Let's take a look at. We want first and third, so let's do this. Third base, because if they can play third, they can probably play first. All right. What are we looking at? Miguel Rojas was the starting shortstop for the Champions. Do we bring in Matt Carpenter? Just bad at both. The average is down to nothing. Todd Frazier is another power guy, low batting average. Same with Marwin Gonzalez. He's got. Wants to start, though. Marwin Gonzalez is an interesting possibility. He only wants $2 million. So far, he's probably the best option, though. Chris Taylor can only play third and poorly. I think let's do this. Let's bring in. We take second year team option because you can't. I mean, that type of versatility is you can't really beat that. So let's see. Okay, so he likes that. All right, let's take a look at relievers. Best lefty reliever is James Paxton. I'm not signing James Paxton. Corey Nebel, Roberto Osuna. None of these guys are any good. Let's go back and let's start. Let's start talking here. Let's see if I don't see. That's the thing is I don't want to go that long. I mean, I wouldn't want to give him more than like 3 years, and I mean, you do 3 years at like 15. I mean, gets him back into the free agent market at age 31. Does he take it? Yeah, he doesn't take that. All right. Well, we're going to pause there. Let's take a look at the trading block. And there's nothing. All right. So we know what we're looking for. We're looking for a right fielder and a left-handed reliever. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to do some digging. I'm going to see what I can find. Might sim ahead a couple of weeks just to see if maybe Conforto brings his demand down. Because that's really where I'd like to go. I think he'd fit in perfectly with Frazier as a lefty-righty lefty-righty platoon with Florial backing them up defensively. So I'll take a look around, see what we can find. And we'll either come back at the Rule 5 draft if I don't find anything, or we will come back when I do. All right, guys, we are back, and as you can see, it is the winter meetings. And let's just jump right in here. So let's take a look first at the trades that we made. So the first deal we made, we went looking for that left-handed bullpen arm, and we found it with the Los Angeles Dodgers. They wanted Julio Urias back. Urias has been okay for us. It was okay for us through a year and a half. Struck out a lot of batters last year, but has registered some high ERA, 4.39 in 2020, and then 4.76 last year. Was a 2-win pitcher, almost a 3-win pitcher last year. So, not bad. I mean, he really wasn't bad, but he was going to start to get expensive. And as our 5th starter, I couldn't justify. Beyond this year, he was going to be asking, my guess would be $7-8 million. So we went and we moved him for Caleb Ferguson. And you can see Ferguson is a left-handed throwing, only throws 90 to 90, 93 to 95, but his stuff plays pretty well. 25 years old. And he immediately becomes the kind of go-to lefty in our pen. You can see in 2020 he pitched 70 innings and struck out 109. So he's going to be, and he's cheap. And while we're not cash starved by any means, any place we can save money allows us to spend money elsewhere. So that was trade number 1. And then just a couple other things I want to look at. So JD Martinez swapped for Aaron Nola. So a couple of bad contracts, but the Red Sox get their replacement for Chris Sale in Aaron Nola, who was 11-13 with a 5.47 ERA. Last year, he's got a contract, $15 million this year, and then a $16 million team option for next year. JD, Red Sox were looking to move him really all year. They were willing to trade him to us last year for a half-star or 1-star rated player. Numbers are starting to slip. Hit only 247 last year, 25 home runs. So, but this is his last season on the books, so he'll probably play just as a pinch hitter. The Mets signed Max Scherzer to a 2-year, $32 million contract. So, pretty good contract deal for the Mets. $16 million this year with a $16 million vesting option next year. If he can stay healthy, that is a steal for the New York Mets, bringing in a 37-year-old Scherzer who's got 189 wins in his career, looking for that, I guess at this point, that magic 200 mark, right? Like not many pitchers are going to get 300, so 200 is the new 300. Justin Verlander signed a 3-year contract with the Milwaukee Brewers. Verlander really struggled last year, 6-11, 5.45 ERA, but was 18-1 the year before that. So if he can land somewhere in the middle there, not a bad contract for the Brew Crew. Red Sox re-signed Corey Kluber again, so $29 million, a couple of years there. So just under $10 million a year for the 35-year-old Kluber. And Michael Conforto ended up signing with Houston. He got that long-term deal he was looking for, 7 years, $11.8 million. I wasn't willing to go that long, so he is going to play for the Astros. Marwin Gonzalez likes our deal, so we're just waiting on him to close that one. And then the other deal we made, and this one kind of has our eye on the future a little bit. Alfonso Revis was somebody I had talked about during, I think it was last season, who was kind of under the radar because he's a first baseman who doesn't hit for power. But 13 home runs, 914 OPS in AAA, 107 walks. He was an attractive piece to a trade puzzle. We traded him and Cole Franklin, 22-year-old starter, to the Padres for Taylor Trammell. And Trammell's 24 years old, 313, 966 OPS in AAA last year. Not a very good right fielder, so I haven't really quite decided what I want to do with my outfield yet. I think I may move him over to, let's see what happens if I right. Move him over to right. Let him get some experience over there. And again, he bats lefty, so he's going to be that left-handed complement to the platoon with Frazier, and he can even hold his own against lefties. So if he's forced to play there, I think he'll be fine. So we pick up Taylor Trammell from the San Diego Padres, and yeah, we'll probably slide him in right there. Let him play right field and call it a day. So let's see what that does for the. So we're gonna have Contreras there. Actually, let's just do this. Just take a look. No, I want Florial to back up all three outfield positions. Yeah, and then Frazier will play against lefties. Reed will end up getting sent down as depth. Can I send him down? I like to just move them around so that I can see exactly where I stand. So I've got 27 players right now. 14. So yeah, I can send down a pitcher, move a pitcher, something like that, and probably be okay. Probably send down Justin Dunn. Yeah, I mean, I think this is our team, guys. Yeah, Clint Frazier will start against lefties. Trammell. I mean, he's humble, high leader, high loyalty, high work ethic, low greed. I mean, he's a good dude, still young, and can rake. So let's go ahead and sim ahead to the Rule 5. We'll make sure we have all the right people on our 40-man. We're still waiting on Marwin Gonzalez to sign with us. Let's see if anything else big here happened. Michael Pineda signed with the Red Sox. Jose Iglesias, an integral piece to the championship puzzle in Philadelphia. Colin McHugh traded. Kutch signs with Cleveland. Look at his stats. He's been around forever. He's only 35. It feels like Andrew McCutchen should be like 50 at this point. 288 home runs. So he's closing in on 2,000 hits and 300 home runs. I mean, that's borderline Hall of Famer at this point. 58.4 WAR over the length of his career. Yeah, I mean, that's borderline Hall of Famer. He could have stayed, if he could have stayed healthy in real life 2019, and who knows? But yeah, that's a borderline Hall of Fame career for Kutch. Hector Neris. All right, so let's delete all this. Let's go to our 40-man, make sure we don't have anybody here that we are missing. Khalil Lee. That's somebody that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Now he's blocked by Trammell, but that's fine. Nobody in AAA. Buddy got here in these guys. No hit shortstop. And meh, if somebody signs him, if somebody takes him, they take him. Nobody in High A, nobody in South Bend, nobody there. All right, so let's just go ahead to the Rule 5 draft. We are picking 23rd. Let's just scroll up and make sure we're not missing anybody. Ooh, there's some interesting names here for sure. Let's just see what gets down to us, if anything. Because don't forget, if we pick up any of these players, they have to stay on our roster the entire season, and I don't know if we have that luxury right now. Ivan Herrera's good. Reno's not bad. Jacob Amaya's not bad. It's just batters. Let's look at pitchers too. Aaron Ashby. Meh. Yeah, I think we're just going to Then we're going to go ahead and complete. All right, so we are December 14th. Let's go ahead and sim ahead another week. I want to see if we can get Marwin Gonzalez to sign his contract, or if he's going to drag this out. Looks like he's dragging it out. Let's go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the two moves we made. Giving up Urias was a little bit tough, and there is Marwin Gonzalez. So that is going to force us to have to make a move on the 25 or 26 man roster, but that's not anything we need to do now. We can wait until spring training there, but that could be the end of the line for Mr. Hayward. Is there anybody? Let's just take a look at the offseason center really quickly. See if there are any names that are good deals that we could make a run at for cheap. Vasquez might see. Here's my concern. My only concern that I'm currently sitting on is I'm going into the regular season with a pair of rookie catchers. Can both field the position pretty well. Both have, or potentially will have, decent bats. That's a concern. I've got Reed as a veteran guy who I can call up if needed. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Marwin Gonzalez is going to back up pretty much everywhere. He can play basically every position except for center field, which is fantastic. Better against lefties than he is against righties, but can still hold his own against righties. So we're gonna have some fun with our lineup this year. I think we've got a lot of options. Florial, great defense. He's got some power, so we're gonna have some fun. I think with this lineup, we're well balanced. Lefty versus righty, a little bit more heavy on the right, but we got a couple of switch hitters in there to make up for that. So pitching staff. I'm gonna keep checking Sale. I'm afraid I'm gonna check his numbers one day and they're gonna plummet and I'm gonna be stuck with this contract. But yeah, I mean, this slots Archer in as the number 2, Rodriguez, Loisiga, and right. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this, and we still have a ton of money. So if we need to make a move in the during the season, we can. So I am going to pause it here. We will sim ahead to, I don't know, a point to be determined. And we'll come back. And I mean, this video will end at opening day. So we'll sim through spring training and set the lineups and everything. So we will be back at some point before that. All right, guys, we are back. And we're back because I forgot to do my Hall of Fame voting. But we also made a trade. And maybe you saw it while I was talking there for a second, but we'll take a look at it. It was unexpected. I wasn't planning on it. I was just doing a little putzing around, and I found something, and I was able to make a move to make us even better, I think. So we are going to go Mark Burley. I love me some Keith Folk. Todd Helton. Tim Hudson. Andrew Jones. Torrey Hunter. None of them are going to make it, but Jeff Kent, Allworthy, Hoppy, obviously. A-Rod. And Sammy. All right, so I was just screwing around a little bit. I looked at the trade block, and you can see we had to work our way there, but we ended up picking up Sonny Gray from the Cincinnati Reds, and we traded a few different players. I would say the big name in the deal was Mitchell White. We got him from the Dodgers in the middle of last season. Never really panned out, struggled last year, struggled kind of out of the bullpen this year. So we moved Mitchell White, as well as 23-year-old center fielder Austin Beck, who we got in the trade with the A's, where we sent Kimbrel to Oakland, and that trade clearly didn't work out for us. But we have a lot of depth in the minors in the outfield, so I felt like we could give up Beck. We traded 23-year-old pitcher Chris Clark. I was comfortable giving up him because his control and his movement is below average. He only has 2 really good pitches, and the third is below average. And he was a 23-year-old who put up a 5.37 ERA in Double-A last year, so I was fine with that. Justin Dunn, who we got in the salary dump when we picked up Kyle Seager. So that trade worked out for us. We were able to move Dunn and as part of this deal, and then 21-year-old third baseman. And in exchange, we get 32-year-old Sonny Gray. You can see Gray here. Solid stuff, solid movement, good control. 6 pitches last year, led the National League in wins with 18 and 6 with a 3.22 ERA. 212 innings pitched, struck out 223, and was a 5-win pitcher. So our rotation now looks like this, and probably going to do that. Chris Sale, probably going to do that, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Yes. Chris Sale, Sonny Gray, Chris Archer, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Jonathan Loaiziga. In our bullpen, we don't have a ton of depth. We've got some players in the minors. Abbott, actually, I think we're okay. Abbott, Short, Thompson can all come up in a pinch if somebody gets hurt. And yeah, I think that's really going to help us, and we still have some depth to make some additional moves if we need if we need something down the road. Khalil Lee, I don't want to move him, but we can with Brennan Davis and Jason Dominguez, as well as Anthony Garcia, the 2 players we got in the trade with the Yankees a couple of years ago. Brandon Howlett has got some pretty good ratings. If he projects out, he could be a high gap, high on base percentage kind of batter. So Braylon Marquez is starting to come along as these numbers improve. So we've got some depth. We've got some names we can move if we need to. But for now, I think we're pretty content. So I will step away here, and I will come back when it is. I guess I don't know if I'm going to come back at the start of spring training or if I'm going to come back when spring training ends. You'll just have to wait and see. Okay, we are back. It is almost opening day. I decided to just sim through spring training. This video is getting up there. It's getting close to that hour mark, and I don't want to run too long beyond that. So figured I would just sim through spring training. A couple of notes in the spring training. Chris Sale got hurt for about 5 weeks, and his numbers have started to drop, which is what I was afraid of. I'm just kind of getting rid of some of the stuff that's not necessary. You can see here, we'll go back to Sale really quickly. Still out for another couple of days, but he'll be back for that opening series. You can see already the stuff has started to drop. This was an 82. It's down to a 77, so really just need Chris to hold it together here for at the very least this year. I mean, it's entirely possible if he, wins 15 or 16 games this year, he opts out of this deal. But if he doesn't, we still have the money. We can afford to take on a bad contract since we've still got some good ones. So we went 13 and 15 in spring training. I don't really put a lot of stock in spring. Hopefully Bryant and Rizzo and Amaya hit better than what they hit here in spring. But speaking of hitting, let's go ahead and set the lineups. So I want to look at batting ratings and and we're going to go again with a Mr. Happ. He's going to play left field. Batting second is going to be Mr. Nico Horner. Third will be Bryant. Fourth will be Rizzo. Fifth is going to be Javi Baez. Sixth will be Adam Hazley. So we still need I don't want to do back-to-back lefties like that. Maya's gonna bat eighth, so I gotta mess around with this lineup here a little bit. So do we do that? Bat Hazley second against righties. I think that looks pretty good, right? And Trammell can bat sixth. You can see he's already up to a 50 in right field just from that one spring training. So that's going to work out well. I think we're going to do that. So let's generate depth charts. Florial. Yeah, I don't want Hayward playing that much. So Florial is going to back up there, and he's going to back up there. Let's get him, I'd say he's a lefty as well, right? Florial. Yeah. So let's get him in. Let's get him in every few games, every few starts every couple weeks. And then we have Gonzalez backing up all the infield positions, and that's exactly what I wanted. So let's copy the lineup, paste, and against righties do I want Hayward out there? 50, 52, and 67. No, we want Frazier. He's a better bat. Be the DH. We'll bat him like that. Same deal. I don't want Hayward starting. Want Florial in there. Not that it's going to matter that much in DH situations. Let's go to the left-handed batters. Let's paste the lineup again. We're going to have to make a couple changes here. So Frazier will come in for Trammell. He will play right field. We're going to move him up in the lineup. Gonzalez was better against lefties, right? Yeah. What does it do if I do this? Just if starter tired. Warner's pretty good against left-handers, right? Yeah. I want to get Gonzalez more at bats than that. He's not going to play much. How's Riz against lefties? He's still fine. Yeah, these guys are all fine against lefties. Happ against lefties. Happ's not as good, so we can do this. Gonzalez in left, and we'll play him once a week against left-handers. We can play right, too, yeah? Do that. And that gets him a couple of starts a week against lefties. And then he backs up all the infield positions to get righties. We get Florial out there. Yeah, I like that. Let's go over to our pitching staff. Let's clear the staff, clear the pen. Mr. Sale will be our ace, followed by Sonny Gray, followed by Chris Archer, followed by Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Kyle Wright. Davy Garcia's really pushing. We made him a starter. How much does his stuff drop? Get down to a 78. Leave him in as a reliever. So we are going to make Ferguson our closer. We are going to make Garcia. We're actually going to make him a stopper. I like the idea of having a stopper. Betances will be set up. Barnes will be set up. Lugo's going to be middle relief, but used more often. Oh, wait. Nope. Loaiziga. Sorry. My fault. Kyle Wright will be the second middle relief. Alzolay will be long relief. Abbott will be the emergency. Alzolay. See, Abbott is going to avoid high leverage. Alzolay will also be our opener when we need one. Wright will be our follower. Yeah, I think that looks good, guys, right? So let's just quickly here sim ahead to opening day. We'll take a look at the top prospects and where they think we're going to land, and we'll call it an episode. And hopefully I'm getting fiber optic internet installed on Monday, so hopefully that will speed up my my uploads, and they won't come in the middle of the night like they do right now. I have to wait till for everybody to be asleep and nobody to be online before I start uploading a video at the moment. So once we get our new internet installed, hopefully that will change. So Tom Ricketts wants us to make the playoffs. So do I. So we play the Pirates. So top prospects. Royce Lewis is the #1 prospect in baseball. Let's see where we stand. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. League system rankings. Chicago Cubs are up to 11th. Mario Guaraca, who was our international signee last year, is number 22. Taylor Trammell, number 47. Mario Gonzalez, 50. Amaya, 82nd. And Joey Van Luke is 87th. And he was our first minor league international free agent signing. That high power, good bat first baseman. So he's still 18, still in the international complex, but he is coming along. A couple of the other prospects that I'm keeping an eye on. Jason Dominguez, the power started to drop a little bit, but contact power, gap power is all still really solid. He's going to start in high A ball. He's only 19, can already play center field in the bigs, already has the speed. So very solid, high on prospect there. Brennan Davis, he's going to start in Double-A, but he's not long for the minor leagues, and he could be an Ian Happ replacement as soon as next year, depending on what Happ is going to be looking for and depending on how Davis does here in the minors this year. Actually, let's just start up here. Garcia was the other guy we got from the Yankees. High power, high discipline batter, can play. Ultimately, I'm sure he can play left or right, so would rather not trade him. He's only 21. I don't think I want him starting in AAA, though. So if I just do this, what does it do? Move him down to Double-A? Yeah, it moves him to Double-A. Braylon Marquez, our top pitching prospect, starting the year in Double-A, 3 solid pitches. He could be up as early as next season. Brendan Howlett, again, we mentioned him a little bit earlier ago. Good eye, good power, good gap power. Going to hit for a low average and strike out a lot, but I like that profile. That's about it. Jared Jones was our #1 pick. He was in high A last year, struggled. He was our very first round pick, so we'll have to see how he does this year. This Blakely guy has sort of come on, our 7th round pick in 2020. He's already a 3.5 star. He's got him in rookie ball right now. I'll probably end up taking, in fact, let's do that so I don't forget. Disable promotion. He's 20 years old. Let's put him in low A for now. And last thing actually, Hall of Fame voting. Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz both made it in their first year. Alex Rodriguez almost unanimous. David Ortiz just over 90%. Just take a look at some of A-Rod's numbers. Just absolutely absurd. Almost 700 home runs, 3,100 hits. Obviously has a legacy there with him, admitting to steroid use and whatnot, but still one of the best players in the history of the game. And David Ortiz, I'm a little biased here as a Red Sox fan. Big Papi, 540 home runs, 2,500 hits. Could easily have played another couple of seasons and reached 600. And, who knows? I mean, if he kept up this pace for another couple of years, he was only a few years away from 3,000 hits. But surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Most clutch hitter in the history of the Red Sox organization. So, well-deserved David Ortiz. So, in fact, every OOTP save that I play that isn't this one, the GM's name is Big Papi. So that is going to do it, guys. As I've said with every episode, I'm still relatively new to this, so please leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Let me know again if you like. I know we had somebody tell me that they liked the videos being longer because we're all just sort of trapped in our houses right now. So again, once my internet's a little bit faster, I should be able to upload some longer videos without any problem. If you want to see some shorter ones, I can do that too. Either way is fine with me. So please leave a like, subscribe, leave me some comments, and until we see each other again, take care. Bye-bye.